Hey, what's up, you guys? Really crazy weekend I got going here. Well, not me. It's what's going on. I'm out here in the garage working on the 80 series. I'm actually doing. It's funny because I did electrical engineering for 20 years, but when it comes to wiring on automobiles, it's such a pain in the butt because I had a very specific way I always did everything. Very clean, professional. But when it comes to vehicles, there's some places you can't run things because of heat, things like that. Breaching through the firewalls, you want to try and go through the grommets that are existing. There's just certain ways of doing everything, right? And it makes it more. It's not fun. Let me just put it that way. It's a pain in the butt. So what I'm working on is I have installed an ARB air compressor. It's tucked neatly up there right next to the brake booster. And then I had made a video about this truck a long time ago where I put in a second battery box. Now the early models of this truck, the batteries came on the passenger side, and then the later models, they came on the driver's side. And what Toyota never changed anything. I mean, up in the hood, you can see this section here and this section here are both for the battery boxes. Like that one. So you're actually able just to buy a battery box for those earlier year models, and they bolt right in here. Now that I got the two batteries, it's really got me motivated, semi-motivated, to do the wiring that I need to do. So the wiring I need to do is obviously the new air compressor that I added. Connect the two batteries, right? I have this. It's a Blue Sea ML ACR. It's an automatic charging relay as well as a disconnect down there. So it's got a remote switch inside the vehicle. What you can do basically is set it to a certain position, and you can basically set up a start battery and a house battery, but you can connect them where they both charge, or you can connect them if you need to do a start. Which, I tell you what, these days, that's not that important anymore. And let me tell you why. The reason why I didn't use that battery this last weekend is I have those jump start, those little lithium jump packs. And it was a big Chevy truck. The battery was dead, like non-existent for over a year. I hooked it up to the cables, pressed jump start, went inside, boom, started up. And this is after a truck that's in terrible shape, has sat for a long time too. Started up, took that off, and I drove it. I had to move it on a trailer. So, and those things are so small, to carry those around, jumper cables and all that stuff. Jumper cables are always pretty decent size as far as that goes too. So this little bag here, I just ended up putting it in one of my canvas bags. So I put the jumper cables and then inside another canvas bag, because I had these spare bags. I had bought a group of them. This just gets protected inside a second bag from the actual. But this is it. This is one of them right here. This is a Noco GB40. Good size. But I have some other ones that I had bought on Amazon. But I've actually used these Noco ones a couple times now, and they work really good. Inside the vehicle, I have mounted the switch for the air compressor, the switch for the remote control of the dual battery system, and then I've put in 4 different stuff. Well, I put in 3 USB things. Some are USB 3, some are the fast charging USB 2s, and then I've got one of the SIG sockets, kind of universal in case you have something that's like that. All that wiring has to be done. And I've already, down on the passenger side footwell, up against the side, I've mounted a Painless Products 7-circuit fuse box. And the way it works is there's like 4 circuits are switched hot and 3 circuits can be constant hot. You gotta be careful with constant hot. That's what will drag you down when you're not ready for it. You know, if you forget something and it's running constant hot, then you're in trouble. So I probably won't use those, but it is nice to have the option. And in order to do this, I have to kind of take part of the dash apart. That's the part that's not fun about wiring these things. And you want to be cautious with it, right? Because you not only have heat, you have vibration, you have sharp edges, all kinds of stuff you have to contend with when doing wiring. But this is the reason I'm in the garage today and not out. Today's Saturday. It's the I live kind of in a very, well, not kind of, I live in a very rural area. There's not that many people around. Today, there is the Overland Expo going on. So we have a bunch of people from out of state, out of town, you know, just bombarding the area and the surrounding areas, all the forests. There's 3 car shows going on today.
Yes, you will. Good luck. Good luck, guys. We're heading out.
There's one of those community garage sale events going on where it's like every house tells them that they're going to have something, then they make a map up of the area, and it's been nuts. There's also some other events going on, but those are the big ones. 3 car shows happening today. This community garage sale thing, which has probably been the worst, and the Overland Expo is going on. So I tried to go out this morning, and it was just, I couldn't back out of my own driveway. People were parked because garage sales. I probably should have put a for sale sign on all these vehicles I have. We'll flash forward to Monday morning. This weekend didn't turn out like I wanted it to, or I didn't have any expectations, but you go, boy. I figured you guys could see Bucky in his natural environment here, going for a ride. We just went for about a 2-hour ride. And so when I left off, I think in the earlier part of this video, I think I was working on the 80 series doing some wiring. Well, you can't do that stuff inside the garage because I can't open the doors, you know, they hit the wall, they hit the other car, and without being able to get in. Anyway, long story short, I didn't finish all that. I got to a point, but I didn't finish it because I just couldn't work in there. And it got me thinking, I'm like, you know what, I really need to get back on the 60 series, get it running like I've been saying forever, so I can move it if I need to, right? Because where it sits is where I work on, where I like to and where I need to work on the vehicles. You know, it's outside, yes, but it's got full, you know, plenty of access and room all the way around it, and it's also right by my workshop where most of my tools are. So I stopped that on Saturday. Sunday, yesterday, I jumped out into the other area and worked on the 60 a little bit. Now, I had mentioned in a previous video, it's at the point where it's kind of a pain in the butt. I got to drop the tank, but I did get some headway done. I actually finished the stuff I needed to do in the engine bay as far as block off plates and adding the new sensors. So all the block off plates are in. I added there's a block sensor for water temp. I put that in, kind of took a bath in antifreeze, but I got that in. And then I also got the O2 sensor into the exhaust. That was the 2 big things I did. And then I went and laid underneath for a little bit and looked at what I'm going to do to mount the fuel pump, drop the fuel tank, run the new fuel lines. And I think I've got a solution. I think I'm going to make a bracket. There's 4 existing holes there that I can make a bracket to kind of stand it off. And it's in its own area. It's really tucked up in there to protect the pump. And it's at a perfect height for pulling out of the tank. And it'll be plenty of room to be able to come out of the tank, go through the filter, the pump, come out of the pump, and then hit the hard line and run up to the front of the car. So, what are you doing? Want some coffee? No? So anyway, I think that I've got a plan there. Just got to get some metal so I can make a bracket. What was that? You know, I fed him just earlier than normal, and then we jumped right in the car. So I didn't know if he was gonna barf or something. It's like just eating and going and getting thrown around. We're up in the trees right now. Just thought I'd go up into the forest a little bit, sit here, have some coffee. But, you know, I don't know if I've been talking about on here, but I figured something out. I figured out that, you know, having an old vehicle that you work on and stuff is really cool. Having 2, yeah. Having 3, it's too many. It's too many because, like, I have projects on the 80, the wiring. I have to get the 60 going. And now it's not like the, you know, oh, cool, it's my fun project. Now it's kind of like a job. Like, I have to do this or I have to do that. And that wasn't my goal. I think I didn't anticipate that being an issue with having multiple older vehicles that I'm working on. It's like one project at a time is super fun, but having too many is not. And that's where I'm at right now. Not that big of a deal. Well, I'm gonna get that 60 running and I'm gonna evaluate whether I'm gonna keep it or not. Once I get it running, I don't know. We'll see. Well, I'm gonna wrap this thing up. I think this has been another video of just too much talking, but trying to relay some information about what's going on. This was just a crazy weekend. I don't really mind it that I didn't get out on this weekend because it was nuts. So much going on. I got to go to one of the car shows, just check stuff out. It's neat seeing the passion that other people put into their vehicles. The garage sale was a pain in the butt. And the Overland Expo, which, you know, so many people still here around in the National Forest. Me and the doggy got to get going and go home and actually get some work done. Yeah, I've been thinking about this for a while now with this. I definitely have too many vehicles. I'm going to move a couple vehicles for sure. Probably going to get rid of the Raptor first. We just don't use it that much. I thought I was going to be using it for coming out here and doing this stuff. But once I bought... You know, I bought 2 more Land Cruisers after that. It kind of changed the narrative. But I mean, ever adapting. I've owned so many vehicles in my lifetime. It's a normal thing for me. I try not to get too attached to them because when you got to move them, you got to move them, right? That's not to say that my people, she gets attached to vehicles, and it's kind of harder to move them in that case. Like she's still bummed to this day that I got rid of her Hummer. We had one of those H2 truck Hummers, the ones that are a truck, and she really liked it because, I mean, for her, the inside was super plush. It was, you know, all leather, like not just leather, but the seats were like super comfortable, like one of those recliner things. And, you know, everything was really nice inside. I think it was like the best, you know, Chevy could do, or GMC could do, like the top of the line Tahoe or the top of the line Suburban interior, or even, you know, the truck interior was in that one. And looking back now, it's funny, I believe it was a 2007, which I thought was super old. This is a 2006, and then the Lexus is '07, and the 80 is '97, and the 60 is '86. So much for my theory on, I told her, oh, I don't want older vehicles. I know, I'm a jerk. Anyway, got to move on. You got to keep moving forward. But yeah, I'm gonna thin out my inventory. More than that, things are just in my way. I get annoyed if things are in my way. So if something's in my way, they wear out their welcome pretty quick, and I'll just get rid of them for that reason. I'm trying to kind of put in my head the scenario of what I really, really want to keep, and what I want to get rid of, what I, you know, am on the fence about, and what I think I really want to keep. I think really the only thing is the 80. I've done so much work on the 80. Like, I haven't done anything on this. I put tires and wheels on it. That was it. But this is great. But this was the cheapest vehicle that I bought too. Maybe I should do a breakdown video of the stuff, because it's so important to understand that this thing here was $7,500. Like $7,500, and it's perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just because it has 310,000 miles on it. But who cares, you know? But I put a lot of aftermarket money into the 80, and it's super fun. It has the most character when you drive it, you know? Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like. Anyway, maybe I'll put something together about the vehicles. I know I talk a little bit in snippets here and there about them, but like most of them were bought, well, not the Raptor, and the Jeep was way before all this stuff, but all of these were bought as a budget in mind. You know, being that I bought an older, higher mileage vehicle, you know, used, obviously, nothing new. It was supposed to be that people could get into this off-roading, adventuring, or even overlanding. You don't need to do, this is an overland rig. You don't need to do anything to this. But the off-roaders, you know, they're a little bit more. But that was the whole idea, that I didn't put a lot of money in these things, and I was going. I think it got lost in the mix somewhere of all the bad titles and bad thumbnails that I do, that the whole idea of all these things were supposed to be budget minded. Yeah, I could go buy a new 4Runner. I drop $50K on a 4Runner and put another, what, $30K in crap in it that I don't need. Have an $80,000 car with, like, this is what mostly is out there on YouTube. Have all that money and go, yeah, look, now we can start having fun. It's like, really? You can start having fun for like $2,500 total. So yeah, I think maybe I just messed up in all that. I got caught up in doing my own thing, but I'm talking way too much. I'm out of here, you guys. Say goodbye to Bucky Boo. He's just sitting there. Anyway, you guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.